WSTKS-FM Worldwide, digital collaborative learning for the 21st century.
Hey there, everyone. It's Professor Schwartz yet again coming to you from right here in the WSTKS-FM Worldwide studios. Today, join my feline buddy Onyx the cat and me to learn about the 3 steps your student learning team can take toward formulating a list of well-defined core values. What exactly do I mean by that? Well, a cohesive student learning team consists of members who work well together to achieve their collective goals. A clearly defined list of core values lays the foundation for that by defining the essence of your student learning team. In turn, these values inform your collaborative decisions and interactions as you move forward through the semester. These same team values help bring your members together and enable each of you to perform your individual roles effectively, contributing to your team's overall success in the course. Core team values, moreover, help you define a minimum standard of acceptable behavior and performance between and among the 4 or 5 students who make up your team. A thoughtfully constructed list of core team values at the outset of your work together will help your team avoid later conflict or related issues that might hinder team cohesion and productivity. In one moment, we'll look at 3 related steps toward defining the core values of your student learning team. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, Professor Schwartz, I can hear you say. So, how do we create our own list of core values that you're talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. When it comes to defining the core values by which your student learning team will operate, your first step is to include all members of your student learning team in the process. Be certain to tap into everyone's ideas so that you can ensure that the resulting list of values resonates with all of the people making up your team. During your initial discussion, student learning team members should reflect on, contribute to, and examine their key ideas openly during this first team meeting to facilitate discussion about each member's vision for your team and make sure everyone feels comfortable sharing their thoughts and opinions about these core values that you are developing. Take care to consider the voice of everyone on your student learning team so that your eventual core team values reflect their beliefs and needs too. The second step in defining and clarifying the core values, which will be at the heart of your student learning team work habits, processes, and interactions, is to identify common values across the members of your team. For this part of your discussion, have everyone share aspirational values to describe the kind of student learning team you want to form. Your team should aim to nail down 5 or 10 values that resonate with the 4 or 5 students comprising your team. Take the time for each team member to discuss their thoughts behind these ideas for possible core team values. Your aim here is to narrow things down a bit and create a workable short list of core team values that you can then flesh out in a bit more detail. As always, take turns to allow each member a chance to share their thinking uninterrupted. For the sake of clarity, it can really help here to create a bulleted list on a whiteboard or large sheet of paper if your team is working face-to-face in the same room. If, on the other hand, your members are working remotely in real time, create a Google document that all of you can access and contribute to at the same time. What your team should avoid is attempting to carry out this first key collaborative activity via a series of disjointed emails or texts, since developing a solid list of core team values quickly and efficiently will set the tone for the rest of your work together in the course. Be sure to give this task the careful attention it requires.
WSTKS-FM Worldwide, digital collaborative learning for the 21st century. If you find this podcast helpful, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe.
The third and final step in establishing the core values which will drive your student learning team through its weekly collaboration is this. Take special care to articulate specifically how your student learning team members plan to implement and exhibit the core values you have identified and articulated in the previous two steps. In other words, discuss and write out actions that demonstrate what each value will look like in practice. Doing so helps determine what each value means to each member of your student learning team and how each of you can ensure your adherence to the core team values you have developed collectively. Taking the time to do this will also help prevent later misunderstanding between the members of your student learning team. Finish your first collaborative exercise together by creating and revising a Google document that all members can access and consult when necessary. Create a Google folder for your student learning team where your team's list of core values is easily accessible and later revisions or modifications can be added easily as or when necessary. And that will do it for today's program, everyone. To recap today's discussion, take the following 3 steps toward the creation of a coherent list of core student learning team values during your very first collaborative meeting in week 3 of the course. 1. Tap into everyone's ideas to ensure that all members of your team have a say in shaping the dynamic of your student learning team. 2. Identify and articulate in more detail those values upon which you can agree as the basis of a cohesive and functional team. 3. Discuss specifically how your student learning team members plan to implement and exhibit the core values you have identified before creating a Google Doc outlining your team's list of core values for easy review down the road as or when necessary. You might also wish to revise your list of core values after working together a few weeks to further clarify the points that your team has developed. Tune in again for additional tips, tricks, and advice based on my almost 30 years of teaching and working with thousands of undergraduates at 3 Big Ten universities, 2 liberal arts schools, and 2 community colleges across the upper Midwest of the United States. In the meantime, thank you for joining me today. I'll see you in class, online, and during Zoom office hours if you drop by with a question. Stay healthy, have a safe and a productive week. With special regards from Onyx, the cat what am. So long, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.
You've just heard a podcast from WSTKS-FM Worldwide, digital collaborative learning for the 21st century.